In this video is going to be every single tip and trick that I use to go ahead and get ranked fast as well as get more kills. 300 max! In this video I went from Diamond 1 the whole way up to Unreal, which is the hardest rank to hit. It gets insanely difficult at the end. Every single time you die, even in a mid-game fight, you lose percent. It's very hard to go ahead and get into Unreal, and I'm going to show you everything that I learned on the process of doing so you guys can get better at fighting as well as do better in tournaments and rank this season. Let's get straight into it. One of the biggest skill gaps this season is using the double movement correctly to not take damage as you specifically close a fight. This is the best double movement setting to use, but what I mean by using it to close out a fight is when you're somebody 1 HP, don't just do a bad trade to close the fight out quick. Instead, go ahead and do a correct edit and get behind the edit you're doing. For example, right here, as you can see, as I go ahead and get the wall on this guy, I start the edit at the left and I bring it down to the right, which means as I do the edit, I'm actually ending up more in the center of the box. It's an easier shot for him to do. Instead, I should be starting on the right hand side, bring it up to the left, get behind the wall on the left hand side, and then I can go back and right hand peek him after and take 0 damage and go ahead and win that fight a lot cleaner. If this guy didn't have a chug jug, I'd be scuffed for this entire game and I'd find it very hard to get more kills. A little bit later on, as I'm pressuring this other player and he's reboxing loads, I go ahead and actually use the double movement correctly, as you can see here. I do a good job of evading his shots, making it hard for him to hit me, and I line up this really nice max damage by using the double movement correctly. Whoa! The max! The max has been hit! One of the best ways of getting more kills and ranked and ending fights faster is just going ahead and just insta-peeking people when they don't expect it. So many people think because they grabbed a wall, you're not going to go ahead and do a peek on them, and it allows you to get a lot more free kills. Exact same case from this next player that starts throwing stinks at me. I just wait for him to get in my box, and then I do a bad peek, however he doesn't expect it, and I go ahead and take him out. Again! Oh my god! I wouldn't recommend actually carrying or using boogie bombs when you're playing ranked. It really doesn't help your fighting, but if you are going to use them, just throw them to the back wall of somebody's box, and you're basically guaranteed to hit them and go ahead and get a free kill. Now we're left to the 1v1. This guy didn't have any shield. I'd always recommend going for a supply crate if you don't have anything during the end game. It's really good to get extra utility as well. And now with that, we are up to Diamond 2. Still, Diamond 2 is a little bit of a way off from getting into Unreal, so let's see what we can do in the next games. Now, honestly, ranking up past Diamond up to Elite, I would say, is fairly easy. The key thing is to make sure you don't die off spawn. I'd recommend landing outside of a major POI and then pushing in and cleaning up the players after they're done fighting and as they're pretty scrappy on loot. For example, this player's just cleaned out retail. He's only got a chug jug, so all I need to go ahead and do is get the opening crack on him, as you can see here. I do a nice floor peek to go ahead and get that crack, and then now I have the quick heal advantage. I can quickly pop minis and then re-aggress him. The key thing is, though, I don't rush what I'm doing. I don't try to be too mechanical since I'm 23 years old. I do a really slow triple edit, do a nice wall take, and then I go ahead and take him out with the deagle follow-up, which is so good. And then now I'm fairly stacked up, and I've already gained a decent amount of rank just from this one game. This is one of the best combos for getting into a box. All you do is pump the wall, pickaxe it, and then it's one shot for your AR, and you can get straight in. You can also just go ahead and pickaxe it and then pump straight through. However, I prefer this method where you go ahead and actually pump it first, and then you can just tap once with the AR to get in without a pump delay. Now, as I went ahead and actually started ranking up, I realized I needed to get more kills, and specifically more kills early. So I stopped going ahead and landing outside POIs, and instead I started landing at these floor spawns on the north side of Risky. This meant I could quickly always get a kill on somebody who's landing near me by pushing them with the floor spawns, as well as I'd have a loot advantage over other players. You can see here, my loot is very good. One thing I noticed, though, is I kept on going ahead and taking way too much damage in fights. This guy, for example, just doing some weird stuff, hitting me loads right there. And then also, as I go ahead and hop on the wall right here, I do a nice smart wall replace, and he just jumps straight at me, and I almost go down. This is a big reoccurring thing that you're going to see in the next couple of minutes. It's just trying to end fights without taking loads of damage. This season really punishes you if you go ahead and get a hit 100, especially in cash cups and things like that, as well as when you're playing ranked, because there simply put isn't enough heals. You need to learn to finish fights without taking loads of damage. This fight, for example, mid-game, this guy was going ahead and building loads of boxes, so I went ahead and just hopped straight in, got quite impatient, as you can see, and did a left-hand peek here to take him out. It might seem completely fine, however, if I got third party straight away, which is what happens in this next clip, you're going to go ahead and go down 99 times out of 100. You can see a perfect example of this right here. I get the cone, get the center wall, and this guy's 2-1, hit him 100, and I finish the fight by doing a bad edit, trying to just finish him off with my art while I knew he was low. And of course, as soon as I go ahead and do that, he max pumps me in return with a spaz, and now I'm fighting another player on 7 HP, and of course I'm going to go down here. It doesn't matter how good you are with the spaz, when somebody's spraying an LMG in your face and they're just trying to jump in knowing you're 1 HP, there's not really much you can do, and of course I go down straight away. That's one of the biggest things that I've been working on while playing ranked, is just ending fights without taking that much damage. Now as I rank up into elite, this is where it starts becoming really punishing. For example, this guy, I hit him 80 twice and I just 50-50 to finish the fight quick. However, of course, somebody could just third party me straight after. There's so many better edits I can do in this situation, like this stair top hand peek, which is really good so you can't get seen. I could have flipped the stair in a different way. I could have gone ahead and done a unique edit to catch him off guard, but instead I just 50-50 him and allow him to get a free shot on me, which is really a bad habit to have. This is something that I built up just from doing too much creative, where I run around 200 pumping people, as well as last seasons, right, where you had loads of heals, you had infinite slurp juices and chug splashes to just use and end fights quickly. You guys need to get out of these habits if you want to get better at ranked fighting and hit Unreal. Also, if you guys want to go ahead and rift into fights but still carry utility items such as a grappler or an RPG that I'm trying to do in this case here, this is the rift trick. I posted my most recent YouTube video, but it is really good to do since it allows you a free item to carry. What you want to go ahead and do is build up 4 layers up into the sky, then do some cones, and you want to go ahead and rift down by the item. Then just simply dive back, and you're going to go ahead and land on top of your cones, as you can see here. Make sure you drop down without taking full damage to build a little bit on the way down. Grab your item, and then hop back in the rift. And then now you're 100 meters in the air, and you can go ahead and W key somebody to the RPG, like I do here. RPG export into this guy's box, and of course, as soon as I do this, I do a bad edit. I place a cone, 50-50 with attack, and I go down to a third party. Still though, I went up a decent amount of rank that game, and now we're about to be hitting into that champion division where things get seriously hard. If you guys enjoyed this video, go check out the Solos Masterclass 5.0. I just released an update for the OG season. It's going to help you guys get your first earnings in all the Victory Cash Cups coming up, and I'm going to be doing weekly updates the entire way through the OG season to keep you as ahead of the competition as possible. Last season, we had over 100 different Masterclass owners get their first earnings, and you guys can easily join them if you go use code YouTube to get $5 off at checkout. Just use code YouTube. It's a really good investment, and it's going to go ahead and take your gameplay to the next level. Let's carry on with the video. Now I'm into champion rank, and this is where things get seriously hard, especially the last 50% of champs. As you can see, I'm still doing my normal strategy, landing outside this risky building and then pushing in quickly, and I can't tell you guys how good this is just for getting free kills at spawn. It's very low risk of doing this strat since you can always bail out if you need to. Another thing I'd always recommend when you're playing in these higher end lobbies is trying to carry a bush. A bush allows you to go ahead and do a lot more risky pump plays, as well as just doing bad plays that get rewarded from having a bush and not taking any damage. As you can see there, it saved me from a shot, and right here I do a play thinking I had a bush shot. I don't know what I was doing in this situation, but I grapple straight on this guy's head, and this would have been a really good play if I had the bush on. It would have saved me from this massive bang that this guy hit me with at the start of the fight. Luckily enough though, I trusted in my aim, and this is where everything started clicking together. I was being a lot more aggressive in fights. I was controlling people's escape, like right here I was getting all of these cones on this guy to stop him getting out, getting the middle wall on his 2x1, and then going ahead and take him out as he's trying to escape. The key thing that I would say if you want to go ahead and get better at fighting in ranked is just to find what shotgun suits your playstyle. The attack is definitely viable, however I think it's really important now the heavy being removed as well as the double barrel going ahead and being implemented. You guys figure out what shotgun suits your specific playstyle. For me, the pump is absolutely perfect. I'm a pump player. I like to get direct on the wall like this, line up a window shot and go ahead and take somebody out, and that is just perfect for my playstyle. Then a little bit later on, after loads of scraps in Storm, I went ahead and went down, and the key thing is as you're trying to rank up and as you're playing solo ranked, especially if you're just doing it for fighting practice, is don't get frustrated because you go down in one specific fight. You got to remember, it's not about winning every single game. You're not just trying to sit around and play a friend game. It's all about just getting as many fights as possible, and if you lose to somebody that's got way more loot than you, then obviously you wouldn't be doing that fight in a tournament. You'd be instead trying to loot up. Right there you can see how hard it is actually to rank up. I only go up a tiny bit of percent from a 5 elim top 14, which is absolutely ridiculous. One of the absolute biggest skill gaps that you guys need to practice in Fortnite OG is to go ahead and learn how to defensively fight. Learn how to go ahead and counter peek people as well as make space, and a very key thing is pre-firing as well. The reason for this is because there's no quick heals. The fastest heal is a mini, which still takes 2 seconds for 25 HP. You guys need to learn how to get shots off before you can get big or a chug jog off in a lot of cases. Right here, as you can see, this guy hit me low HP, so I'm just going to go ahead, make some space. I've got a 2x1, and I'm going to play around my 2x1 and pre-fire him every single time he breaks my wall. It's really important you guys practice these skills, especially in off-spawn, especially when people are in bad situations, because they're going to come back and help you whenever you're playing an actual tournament. For example, this next fight, this guy was very PC, very mechanical. He kept on hitting some crazy peaks on me. So what do? I made a 2x1 and an extra box. So I've actually now made an L-shaped box. As you can see, I've got loads of edits in between my boxes as well as cones where I can counter peek this guy from. Really important you guys do this skill, because it means that as soon as this guy gets my wall, I'm going to be able to go ahead and counter peek him. And also means as he goes to break some of my metal walls, I can aggro peek him straight away. Like right here, I do a floor edit, crack him, and I go ahead and I'm able to aggro him. However, this guy was very good and he kept on doing some crazy peeks on me. Now I go ahead and disengage from the fight. Again, don't be afraid to disengage, especially if you're carrying your grappler. It means you can re-engage at a point where you're safe, and you can also try to get a free shot like right there. And what do? I wait for him to smack my wall, pre-fire, and hit him with a pump. And of course, the pre-fires are so good this season. I really recommend you guys practice doing pre-fires, especially with the pump, because it's so easy to just get a free kill on people. Speaking of free kills, this clip right here is a good example of why knowing how to third party is very important. This might sound dumb, but just knowing how to quickly cut off space, like right there, I go ahead and cut the space off, get the free crack, and then I just hop in the box and finish the fight very quick. Again, very bad habit to have is hopping in the box to finish a fight. But in that case, I thought, okay, I need to end the fight quick because this guy just got the kill and I'm fairly shambles, and I did that. However, I get punished by this other player who comes over. I was trying to go for a trap play right there, got caught out, went down. However, I still gained a decent amount of rank points from that actual game. Now I'm halfway through champ, and this is where things get excruciatingly hard to rank up. Another one of the most important skills I think you guys need to practice for this season is whenever you're low HP or whenever a fight is just starting, knowing how to quickly get a counter peek on people. You see me do it a couple times in this video, we'll do that floor extended out the box, but another one of my favourite things to do to catch people off guard is this stair trick right here. Whenever somebody thinks they've got you full piece and they're trying to break your stair, just quickly edit your stair on the left hand side and get a free shot off, and then hold your stair straight after. It is so good to do, and it completely turns the tempo of the fight. Right here, I shotgun exploit into this guy's box, and I would go ahead and take him out straight away. The key thing is though, is whenever you do this trick, make sure you're aware of what shotgun the other person has. For example, this player right here, I know he's got attack and I have a pump, so I want to play my range as I go ahead and do this peek. You guys need to be really careful that you go ahead and sit back in your box or sit further forward in your box depending on what shotgun you have. So you can see here, I know he's got attack, so I want to keep on playing this range. I never want to get within a half tile radius of him. So as you can see, I keep on playing my range, keep on playing my round peaks, and I go ahead and take him out. Again, with a little bit too much damage dealt to myself, but it's still completely fine. One thing I noticed that I got 10 times better at is just doing these really smooth peaks where even though I might mess up a couple edits, I'm still able to take the fight out and just do it in a way that I'm never going to get pumped in these situations. It's a good habit to build up versus bad players because it does transfer over to better players like I thought right here. One of the biggest skills that you can have for solos is learning how not to panic in certain situations. Like right here, I'm boogied. However, I try to just make sure I've got good movement so he can't line up a max pump on me, and I go ahead and just get out of the box. Of course, I mess up my edits since I'm old, but as soon as I go ahead and get out of the box, I look for a counter peek. I don't just let him jump in my box and 50-50 me while I'm trying to heal. I keep looking for counter peeks, buying time since I know a third party is going to come over, and now the third party arrives, they're spraying me since I'm the one running away. I go ahead, I make an L-shaped box, and I get ready for this initial player to jump in. I don't try to heal straight away. Now with this counter peek I'm going to go for here, the third party is going to go ahead and look at the player that they think is low HP, the one who's just been shot and is now reboxing, instead of me. I'm able to get my chug off, I'm able to heal up back to full, and of course I'm able to re-engage and get that kill. It's really important that you guys know how to play these situations, especially with how quick it is to get third partied by grapplers and riftigos. You guys need to know how to play in these situations so you don't just go down to every single third party. Now we're on to our very final game in this challenge of hitting Unreal as fast as possible, and I cannot tell you guys how much better I've got at fighting. First of all, 2x1, make the wall 1 HP, try to look for a pre-fire. Then as this guy's transitioning across my walls and he takes it, I go ahead, put a cone in my box, get behind my top right hand peak completely so he can't see me, and he also can't go ahead and take the wall back since there was a cone edited there. And now I'm just chasing him down and he's just completely running away. This next fight, you're going to see the exact same thing. The opponent hits me 70 to start it off. And what do? I go ahead, make a 2x1 backwards, pop a mini quickly, do not try to pop the big, middle window, bang, go ahead and get all the piece on him and take him out straight away. I cannot tell you guys how much better I've got at fighting just from playing solos for a couple days and trying to make this video for you. One thing I did notice though is as I got higher into these ranks, specifically just before I hit Unreal, is how many crazy third parties you've got to deal with. Every single fight, unless I ended it within a couple seconds and just by jumping in and doing a bad peek, I'd be getting third partied non-stop. It's really important that you guys set up correctly on the box and you make sure that you try to limit people from reboxing loads. As you can see, this guy just kept on making space, he started cranking upwards, and of course, as soon as this happens, people hear the shots and they come soaring in with a grappler, or they land on you with a rift. This one guy, for example, spent the entire game just third-partying me, constantly annoying me while I was trying to deal with this one fight, and he kept on just grappling in and then running away as I was fighting this other player. Finally, I managed to get a couple seconds to aggro this guy, get the wall, go ahead and get in his box as he's reloading. I heard his shotgun run out of bullets with that last shot he did, and I go ahead and take him out. And now I'm left in a 1v1 with the third-party guy, who of course snuck in and pumped me from behind. Oh my, get outplayed, you little... Let's go! A little cheeky 6-kill win with an endgame. What is that going to be for us? We have done it, ladies and gentlemen. Top 1500 just from solos. Alright, that is all for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next one.